Apple Card is the credit card created by Apple. You earn 3% daily cash back up front when you use it to buy a new iPhone 15, AirPods, or any products at Apple. And you can automatically grow your daily cash at 4.15% annual percentage yield when you open a high-yield savings account. Apply for Apple Card in the Wallet app on iPhone. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility. Savings accounts by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC. Terms apply.
We started our company, Girls Who Do Interiors, before we even graduated design school. And we turned to Chase for Business to build along with us. They had everything from banking to payment acceptance to credit cards all in one place. And with the Chase mobile app, our business is wherever we are. It's made for business owners who build to inspire. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours.
Real customers compensated. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Since the end of February, many of us have been watching the horrifying effects of war in Ukraine from our living rooms. On today's podcast, I'm joined by Exning-based trainer Gay Kelleway, who is shortly leaving her living room and stables to head off to the Ukraine border as part of the Racing to Help Ukraine campaign. Thank you for joining me, Gay.
Hi, Stephen. It's nice to be here.
Well, thank you for joining me on the show. To start with, could you let listeners know what Racing to Help Ukraine, the campaign, is all about?
Well, what we're actually doing, it's a brainchild of Charlie Mann, ex-trainer, jump trainer in Lambourne. He came up with the idea of taking several horse boxes full of supplies for animals, horses, humans. We felt in racing we wanted to do something. And we're in a little bit of a bubble, horse racing folk. But when it comes to clubbing together and getting things done, we're pretty good at that. And we do sort of unite together, and which Charlie's done very well. And James Main, who is a vet, he's going over there. There's apparently on the border of Ukraine, going to Kiev. Apparently there's a veterinary unit that a Ukrainian Polish lady has set up, and they need supplies. And we felt obliged to take some supplies over the horses. There was a racing stable in Ukraine. Apparently it's been affected. There's like 150 horses there and they're running out of feed. So I'm hoping to take, Dobson Horrell have kindly donated a ton of feed, and I'm taking that over myself. In my lorry, I've got 2-box lorry, but 3 lorries from Newmarket. Jim's Holdsworth, who's Iberian Bloodstock, and he's an insurance company who's covering all the insurances for us. And Fiona Rapido, her company, she's taken a big articulate 8-box lorry with 2 boys driving. And she's taking, I believe she's taking food over, human food, good food, and medical supplies over, and some horse and animals medical. So yeah, we've all teamed together, and it's sort of a convoy of 10 horse boxes. I believe Ocean Mervis driving one, and also Richard Quinn, who former Derby winning jockey, used to ride when I was riding. He's donated his person, and he's going to drive a lorry as well. So we've got a good team going over there.
And when are you due to set off?
We plan to set off the early hours of Sunday morning. It should take us, with no hiccups, should take us 2 days driving to get there. And literally drop off supplies, make sure everything's okay, and turn around and come back.
And why did you yourself decide to help?
Because I'd rather live my life with something, being a racehorse trainer is a little bit of I find it a little bit of a selfish world. We live in very lucky, we're very fortunate. We have a privileged life, really, if you do well. And I felt that animals have been so good to me in my life, my horses. And I felt when I saw all the pain and suffering going on over there, I just felt I had to do something, whether it be a small part, but just to help, it's just awful. In the times we live in, there shouldn't be a war. The world leaders shouldn't allow this to happen, all these people suffering, losing their homes, and their animals are as much as their their children as people, it's inhumane and it's just terrible. And I felt I'd rather do something worthwhile in my life, and that is, I feel, is something at least worthwhile I've done in my life, what I will do in my life.
And have you got the route all mapped out where you're going? How are you going to get there?
Yes, well, it won't be P&O by the looks of it. We're going across via Dover. I mean, obviously, I've travelled a lot abroad with horses. I've been to Germany. I've been to France a lot, of course. And I've been to Sweden. So I basically know Neil Carson's my co-pilot, Willie Carson, ex-jockey. His son is coming with me. He very much does a lot of driving for me, and he's driven all around Europe. And we are going via, obviously, through Germany, Holland, Germany, and reaching up to the border. So it's all pretty, pretty worked out. But we'll be going in convoy, and it's going to be a bit of an adventure. But I feel it's, I want to do this. There's
going to be a lot of time at the wheel, because presumably you're going to not only get a lot of sleep, are you?
No, I've got a little lorry that has a bench seat, so you can just take a sleeping bag and a pillow. So we're doing 3 hours each driving. We have stopping points, and yeah, I've done that a lot in my life. I've driven to the south of France, Cannes-sur-Mer. That took me 2 days to get there. So I've done a fair bit of driving in lorries over the years.
And what sort of things do you need, and how can members of the public who are not sort of getting off their sofa like you are, how can they help?
Basically, donations will help, because obviously it's going to cost us a fair bit of money to get with the diesel and the tolls. I mean, each lorry in diesel alone is going to cost just over £2,500. And obviously, we've got tolls to deal with. We've got the ferries. We might have charges on export charges, no doubt. And so, I mean, Charlie reckons the round trip will cost about 30,000 anyway. So donations are much appreciated, to carry forward the trip, and also we're buying supplies. But obviously, we get, like, one of my owners has donated boxes of nappies, for children, and I've got hold of dog food, cat food. Because obviously there's no shops open there, and basically I've got, farm and stable donated 20 water buckets, and, like I say, Dobson Hall feed and Rostel's medical supplies. So anything useful to people that you just got to imagine you haven't got a home, you've got nothing, you've got nothing but the clothes on your back and a suitcase. I couldn't put myself in I couldn't imagine what it would be like. It must be horrendous, traumatic for people.
Yeah, the whole structure of life is sort of collapsed, isn't it? You can't go to the shop, can you, and get things?
No, exactly. So, I've got like heated blankets and stuff like that. So, so anything useful like that. But donations are much appreciated to help race in Ukraine. .uk.
And they've also got a Twitter page.
Yeah, we've got a Twitter page, yeah, we have.
At Racing Ukraine. And where in Newmarket can they drop off
Well,
items?
They can drop stuff off. They can drop it off at the Jockey Club, the New Ashley Club, which is the Racing Welfare Club, or even my stables. People are dropping goods off at my stables, and if they could, just box it up and have what's written on the top, what they've donated, that would be great. So we obviously have to have an itinerary for when we go through customs. It's not easy. It's not plain sailing getting through customs at the best of times. I mean, we've got various different. The English side is pretty easy, but what it's like when you go to France, they never make anything easy. So it's the French border control that we're going to have a bit of a tough time with getting stuff through. So God willing, we can get it all through.
And food-wise, I'm guessing it's going to be things like tin food that you're going to need.
Yeah, tin food would be good. Soups, like pot noodles and things like that would always be helpful, I guess. I mean, some places where they're bleeding radiators to get water. So we're taking a fair bit of water over there, bottles of water, and I've got canisters, great big things of canisters of water. So we don't really, I mean, Charlie's we know a couple of people that have gone over there, kind of half know what to expect, but you don't really know what to expect until you actually get over there. I just hope we have all the right stuff.
And the website gives you details of where you can donate money as well, doesn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to what you've already told us?
No, like I said, racing people are great. I've had endless phone calls and, asking for her to donate, and, all my owners and trainers like Simon Crisford's called me and said, what do you need? And Jane Chapel-Hines pushing people, and to Mark Prescott as well. So, it's been, there's a quite a minority of good people around racing that are, it's not all about them. We kind of live in a little bit of a like I say, a bubble, and racehorse trainers can be incredibly selfish and just think about themselves too much, But, I think if we wouldn't have come to this if we were a bit more gracious in the world, more caring, would we?
No, and talking about animals, what's the situation with animals? Because you're going to the Polish border, aren't you? Right next to Ukraine, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I'm going to try and bring back animals. We've told we can't because of restrictions, but I'm going to try and bring them back, and maybe on the way home be able to find homes for them. I'm sure there's so many people. It's amazing, the British public as well as countries like Spain and most Europe are helping, the refugees, which is great, and animals as well. So. And
you said you're taking a vet with you, aren't you?
Yeah, James Main, he's coming over, and he's taking chips, 400 chips, so he can chip the horses so they can travel around, as long as they've got passports.
Well, the very best of luck for you on the journey. What time are you setting off on the 10th? Have you got a sort of itinerary confirmed yet?
Yeah, 6:55 ferry apparently. So in the morning. But I'm used to early morning, so.
And it's supposed to take about 22 hours to get there, is that right?
Yes, yeah. It actually it takes 22 hours to get there, and to the south of France it takes 28. So I've done that. And let's hope the weather is not so cruel to us as it has been this last week.
Thank you, Gay, for joining me at such short notice. I certainly will get this podcast out straight away. Safe travels on your journey. I hope all goes well for you and all the other box drivers and the team, and hope you bring some joy to so many people and animals who are suffering in a war-torn area. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to find out more about this important cause, go to racingtohelpukraine.uk. That's racingtohelpukraine.uk. You can also follow the campaign on Twitter @RacingUkraine.
Thank you for listening to The Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram @ThePadandPav. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Feel the whoa with Listerine at BJ's. You can save $2.50 now on Listerine products like Total Care Anti-Cavity Fluoride Fresh Mint Mouthwash or Cool Mint Pocket Packs Fresh Breath Strips at your nearest BJ's location. Experience the feeling of a million germs zapped in seconds with Listerine. Discount available through December 24th. Save now only at BJ's.